Hi Leo, this is Amanda Nardozzi. Thanks for hopping into my little den here. We're keeping it warm, keeping it cozy. Today's reading is going to be for March 25th for the full moon in Libra, and then moving forward for the next 2 weeks until we get to the new moon, okay? So I'm going to roll the astro dice, figure out what energy we're tuning into. Specifically, we're going to focus on things to manifest, things to release, and just any messages surrounding those things, since those are the themes of the full moon and the new moon. So that being said, let's get into it. As always, follow your spiritual practice if you need to get into a meditative state, if you want to call in your spirit angels, your spirit guides, whatever energies you work with. And then make sure you tune into your heart so you can figure out which messages are for you, which messages are for others. As always, I call in Archangel Michael and then my spirit guides to help me connect with the highest love, the highest messages, and my hope is that you can take away some healing and some forward motion with this reading. Roll some astro dice for you so I can figure out where I'm tuning into. So we have... Interesting. Okay, that's interesting because, Leo, we just did Aries, which was wild because you have Aries on the dice, but they also got Saturn, which you also have on the astro dice. That's crazy. But this is your 8th house. So I rolled for you Saturn, Aries, and the 8th house. So specifically the area of life is spirituality. 8th house rolls anything spiritual, occult, anything that's like marked as taboo, like sex or like occult or whatever. Mysticism. This, I call the 8th house like my spirituality house. So like when it comes to deep spiritual lessons, or when I start encountering like the darker sides of spirits, or when I start seeing that icky energy reflected back at me sometimes, like that's when I tune into the 8th house and I'm like, okay, that's like 8th house energy right there. But we have with Saturn, it's like a complete, I don't want to say, it's like a complete wipeout. It's almost like, it's not quite Pluto with like a I don't say reformation. How do you want to say it? Like a complete teardown and a rebuild. That's what Pluto is. It's like a new birth or a new start type of thing, because Pluto's like the end of the planets, or at least in accordance with all the planets in the astro dice. It's like at the very outskirts. Saturn is like complete destruction, destroy. Like but it's almost like it's doing so. It's very strict. It's very stern. It does focus hardcore on discipline. And then Aries is that new, fresh, passionate start. And then we're just getting into spirituality here. So I can't help but feel like this is related to mysticism, and it's almost like you're starting a new element to your mysticism. Like, I don't know if it's like a branch of spirituality. Like some of you could be interested in things like herbology or like herbalism, I think is his name. Like astrology, like tarot cards, or like studying oracle, but there's something about studying a particular branch of mysticism, or maybe shamanism, or like even something in relation to like religion. I know 9th house is more religion and like higher philosophy and everything, but for whatever reason it's coming through like with the 8th house. So some of you, whatever you're doing in terms of studying the spiritual or mysticism or studying the ways of life, that would be 8th house energy. Starting that new passion, it's like you're bringing this new passionate energy to it, and it's like almost like you're starting something new, but it's requiring some discipline. It's requiring something like concrete. It's like concrete steps to get to where you're trying to go, and it's almost, and again, I see whatever you're doing is like sending fire back. It's like burning things in your wake, and I'm not sure, it's almost like for some of you it is kind of like it's like you're revisiting past experiences and you're making something fresh out of it. You're making like a new perspective out of it. Through your studies of this new thing, or even some of you are just studying your past in general and it's going to affect your spiritual life, like you're studying your past traumas, your past relationships, or your old ways of doing things, and it's like you are diligently making steps or making progress to, I don't know, I'm still getting, for some of you, you're studying something. So it could be like studying therapeutic techniques, and you could be studying worksheets to help you work through that stuff. But again, for some of you, a lot of you, I'm getting spiritual stuff. So that being said, now that we have like the general idea of what this is, sorry, you're gonna see me do this occasionally with my hands. It's because there's corgi hair floating everywhere. Like Milo's around here somewhere, but like somehow all of his hair is like grouped into this spot. So let's see. So we have the Sire of Wands as your situation. Sire of Wands is akin to the King of Wands in the traditional tarot. Sire of Wands is about, I don't know, like you held your own so far is what Spirit is saying. And it's almost like that is like they're applauding you because it seems like there's a lot of chaos going on. The challenge here is the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is having so many things flying up in the air, and it's just a matter of like trying to catch them all before they hit the ground because things are moving very fast. And it's almost like you're gaining information and knowledge very fast, I gather, but there's also this sense of overwhelm with it. Because it's almost like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do. This reminds me of somebody who encounters something very exciting and they're like, oh my gosh, let's do this. And then they dive head first into it. But then they realize like as they are learning, there are more things branching off of what they're studying that they could get consumed with, and they're like, oh my gosh, they want to go on all these tangents. I say it's more like going down the rabbit hole, but then you're like taking notes as you're falling down this rabbit hole and saying, look at all these other places that I want to go down there, rabbit holes too. So, but there's like a state of overwhelm with it though. There's like a state of overwhelm with all of this stuff going on. Some of you could just lead busy, hectic lives, but it's almost like Spirit's like you've done so well at handling this overwhelm up until now. I wouldn't say like you're not handling it well now, but it's almost like they are applauding and saying you are doing a great job. It's challenging, and we recognize that it's challenging, but you're doing a great job. What's coming up from within is the Ten of Swords, so you're actually being called to leave something behind and begin anew somewhere else. And this is what I say is like this. It's half Saturn, half Pluto. What I'm saying is I can't help but feel like, and I got to get clear on the meanings later, but the symbol, for whatever reason, like the symbol that's coming through with Saturn is very Pluto-like. I'm not sure why. It is a discipline card, or like it is a discipline energy, sorry. It's a discipline energy, but it's almost like something is being destroyed as you are learning, as you are working, as you are moving forward, and you're like remaking or shifting like something that has happened before or that you've left behind. Like, I don't know, you're leaving something behind. But what's coming up from within is wanting to leave something behind. This is a very depressing card in this deck. I think the Ten of Swords is basically pretty brutal in any deck you look at, but specifically in the Ten of Swords, like when you look at the guidebook for this book, and like, I mean, the guidebook for this deck, what I'm saying is it's beautiful. It's beautiful. The descriptions are amazing. I actually wish I had the book right next to me so I can share it with you. Do I have the book right next to me? No. I think it might actually be upstairs. But anyway, it talks about how, there's all of this death and carnage everywhere, and this dragon that's hollering at the sky is basically the sole survivor. And it is a very agonizing journey, but it's kind of the message of life goes on. They must continue, even if they have to leave others, like cherished others, behind. So that being said, that's what's feeling like, what's coming up. Some of you could be cutting toxic things out of your life, but like, it's like, I don't know, I'm hearing like broken bonds. Some of you could actually be healing from a grief or loss and just deciding, okay, like I just need to move on. I can't be stuck here anymore. I need to be making light of, it's almost like I need to be making light of a certain situation, or I need to be separating myself emotionally from the situation, or I just need to move on. It's that feeling of needing to move on from something that has just been in the past and really been, I don't know, it's just been heavy. I just feel like a lot of dark purple clouds, and you're like, okay, I'm moving on, I'm leaving it behind. In the past position, you have the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is keeping your energy close. It's keeping your finances under wrap. This is somebody who's very conservative with their money. They keep their pentacles, their coins very close. It's almost like you've been counting change in your coin purse. So for some reason, financially is coming through of like being like, trying to keep everything close and like counting pennies specifically. So I'm not sure why that's important. I do see that turning around for you with a little bit of effort and with a little bit of diligence, but like I'm seeing like the coin counting, and I'm not going to try to over explain it because sometimes I try to interpret things, and then that's where, because I'm okay. Break time real quick. I do like a lot of pop-ups and stuff around my city, and I've been having the opportunity to read a lot more people, and I have had time to ask people after the reading, how did this apply? And like, what does this mean for you? Or when I was picking up on this energy, what did that mean? And I've been learning so much about it. So basically how I'm going to do this is like, when I talk about this, I try not to over explain it and over apply. So I'm going to leave that to you. But again, they're just saying something about the coin counting in the past and like needing to keep it close, right? And you have the focus, which is the Emperor. So with the Emperor is taking charge, taking control. It's almost like you recognize all of a sudden, oh shit, I have authority. Like, what am I going to do with it now? And it's almost like because of everything you've been through, you're like, oh, I know exactly what I'm going to do with this power. It's almost like you had like this type awakening. And I do feel like I'm hearing spiritual awakening for some of you, but it's almost like you snapped out of whatever reverie you were in and you were like, oh gosh, here we go. That fell out. I didn't mean to drop that, but I shuffled it from the last reading that I did. So I'm just going to leave this off to the side. And then I'll still pull another card for you anyway. But it's almost like that's where your focus is. It's like, okay, well, how can I manage this situation? How can I not only manage my finances, but how can I manage my way forward in a state where I feel powerful, that's good for me, that I can actually stand tall. And it's almost like you can't even fathom where you were, where you are compared to where you were, because there's such a stark difference. But it's almost like, I am strong, I am powerful, this is me now. I am like, it's almost like there's like this energy of like, I don't know the official political term, but the word totalitarianism is coming to mind. I don't know, but I don't think that's actually like what spirit is saying, like what it means, but there's something almost very strict and stern and strong about it, specifically strong. So that being said, you have the Five of Wands in the future. The Five of Wands in the near future talks about inner conflict. So it's almost like what you are now, even though you're strong, it's almost like you're fighting your doubts. And that's just going to happen when you go out and expand out of your comfort zone, when you are going and encountering changes, when you are making changes for your life. Like the Emperor is all about making changes. And I'm hearing that it is your God-given right to make changes in your life. And it's almost like I'm hearing like, how dare you? Some people might be like, well, how dare you make changes? And a lot of people, I feel like there's a lot of people in your life that are like, amazing, good for you, I'm so happy for you. There's like some voices of tension, but it's more of like your own self-doubt that's echoing back at you, and like you're struggling with that. The more changes you make, the more self-doubt you encounter, and it's almost like you're arguing with yourself, and Spirit just wants to advise you when you're heading into this time to argue with yourself a little bit less and spend more time just making those changes and getting used to the energy of being powerful, because it's that's going to help you. It's almost like that's going to help you spin your wheels a little bit faster, and that's going to help you settle more into the energy of confidence, right? So we have the High Priestess. This is your energy, feeling highly intuitive. The High Priestess is almost about like you have this, there's like something about like holding like knowledge, holding esoteric knowledge. It's like you're holding, like for some reason, like you have this spiritual knowledge that all of a sudden was just unlocked. And now all of a sudden you can see. So this is why I'm saying, you guys, like some of you are just having like a full spiritual awakening. This literally is showing me, like they're literally showing me this dragon, and then like the eyes are open. And like I'm seeing a third eye in the dragon open too. So some of you are just having a spiritual awakening where like all of a sudden it's like your wise self that has learned so many lessons from like past lives. Some of that is being integrated into your life and coming back through you, and you're recognizing how powerful you are, and you're like, oh shit. And you're like, it's almost like I actually hear some of you say, how can I let my life get like this? Or it's almost like, okay, well, we need to like do something about this ASAP. And it's almost like you just kicked it into gear. Your environment is the Shaman, which is akin to the Magician in the traditional tarot. And your environment, you're recognizing you have a lot of the tools, you have the capabilities, you have everything necessary in order to create the life that you want. It's almost like you are recognizing or learning the power of manifestation. You are learning about this energy. It's almost like giving energy to the universe and receiving it gratefully, which is interesting that grateful comes up because the turkey spirit that came off the top of this deck is give with gratitude and grace. So it's almost like you are learning how to support your confidence to the world, and like, how am I able to give my love? How am I able to give my services to the divine? How can I shine my light in the world? And it's almost like Spirit's like, okay, we're going to give that back. We're going to like return that energy to you, that same energy with abundance. And that's what you're recognizing, and you're almost like, I'm hearing like, I'm feeling that is what like the phrase that I'm hearing is, I'm feeling that. Like I'm feeling, it's almost like you're feeling that abundance, and you're like, the more you shine your light, the more abundance you get. And it's almost like that's the energetic exchange that you're recognizing. So because of that, and because you're more in tune and focusing on like manifesting in your spiritual energy, and also willing to take the physical action with the Emperor here, you have this big aura of manifestation around you. Like I'm seeing sometimes in like big manifestors, I see like an aura, and then I see like lots of tools in their aura, like the magician's tools in their aura. So I'm like, oh snap, like you're in big high energy manifestation. You can literally just reach out, grab what you want, and pull it to you, and then just use it to make something. Like it's incredibly powerful energy. So I feel like you're in this manifesting type of vortex thing going on, right? And you have the fool in your hopes and your fears. This is a new beginning, a new start. The things that we fear are like the things that we hope for are typically the things that we fear we're never going to have, or the things that we're going to lose. I always say that. It's a very, I would say it's a complicated position if you're first approaching the tarot, because people often don't know how to interpret it. But what you're hoping for is a new beginning, and it's almost like you're kind of hoping the burden's released from you. And this is where I see the burning come into play, where it's burning behind you. So I feel like that fear is not really, it's present, yes, but I feel it dissipating with time. The fears come from self-doubt. The fears come from like not wanting to revert back to the person that you were, like it's almost like you don't want to remember how powerless you felt, or it's like if you do remember, you don't want to revert back to it. So that being said, your outcome is the Seven of Pentacles. So keeping in line with your facts, it's almost, I'm hearing Spirit say stay in line, focus on your facts. Make sure that you're not straying just because you're getting lost in your emotions and you're getting lost in your doubts. Spirit's like, just focus on the facts, focus on your present reality, and work with those tools. And like, I'm hearing something about work presently with your logic. So focusing a lot on what you can make manifest in your current reality. And that's actually going to help. For whatever reason, I'm getting like somebody who's very grounded and present because they're focusing on their present reality and actively using their tools instead of sitting around and wishing they had certain tools at their disposal and just spending their energy focusing on what they can't manifest or why they can't manifest certain things with certain tools. You are thinking of the ways that you can, and like you are focusing on the things that you can. And I see somebody who's taking it one step at a time. Okay, so let me pull some other cards here of like, what is it that you're manifesting, or what's kind of in your timeline here with that. Last quarter moon in Leo, lighten up. So again, I just heard earlier, like making light of something. So if it was a heavy situation, it's almost like you're making light of it. Now, obviously, that's not the one thing that we want to do, but it's not the one thing that we want to do sometimes. But there's this energy of wanting to make make the mountains back to molehills. And it's not saying that what you experienced was not a big deal, but it's almost like Spirit's like, okay, well, I need to lighten up and have a little fun, because the mood tanked for a long time, it feels, or the mood tanked for a while. And now it's almost like you're trying to learn how to play and have fun. I'm hearing like you're learning to be your 6-year-old self again. So you also have Unmarked Trail, Revelation. This is literally the spiritual card, and it's funny because all of these, I think they're stones, or it's like a spiral maze thing, I think. I don't know. But if you take a look at this card, Unmarked Trail, Revelation, this is literally a revelation that you've made, or it's like an epiphany of aha, or it's like, you know, recognizing that you have a whole path ahead of you, and there's still more to come. There's still more to come, and you're recognizing what a manifester you are, and you're like, I can actually use this power to create something new. You also have Squirrel Spirit, Believe in Yourself. This is the lasting card message before we roll some angel dice, and then I'll send you on your way. But Believe in Yourself is quite literally just, I mean, I don't know. I wish I could expand on that card, but I mean, I said what I said, and I meant it, and so did Spirit. Like, they're doing that thing where they're like, you know, you're fighting with your doubts for a little bit, but the important thing is to just keep having that faith in yourself. Like, you're being led in this direction for a reason. Just as I told Ari, Spirit has a plan. And for you, Leo, you're really meant to step up right now and fully have full confidence that when you step into power, when you step into your own control, and you're like, these are the changes that I can make, and this is what I can do, I feel like you're unstoppable. And this is the energy that's going to make you unstoppable. 876, I'm pulling from Angel Numbers by Kyle Gray. Angel Wisdom is encouraging you to know that the challenges you are facing at this time are opportunities to reclaim your power and wholly accept in your heart that, yes, you are ready to be powerful. What did I say? Oh my God. Spirit said it. I said what I said, and I meant it. All right, let me read it one more time, because I always read these messages twice. Angel Wisdom is encouraging you to know that the challenges you are facing at this time are opportunities to reclaim your power and wholly accept in your heart that, yes, you are ready to be powerful. So that being said, Leo, I'm gonna send you on your way with that. A lot of these last few cards are pretty self-explanatory, but if this resonated with you in any way, go ahead, like and subscribe, all the things. Keep up to date with me, what I'm doing, where I'm going, when I'm launching my website, because just as I told Aries, I'm having a moment where like things clash and I had to completely delete the website. So we're starting over. But you can reach me for a personal reading if you would like. If you so feel called, I will leave my email in a link down below, and then you can get in touch with me for current rates, current going rates, if you wanted to schedule a meeting or if you want to schedule a video session, whatever the case may be. But that will be in the link below. Anything else? I don't think so. You're powerful. Oh my gosh. Like, Spirit's still yelling in the background. You're powerful. You're powerful. Like, they're still coming through with this channel. So I'm going to send you on your way with that. They just want you to know that you're powerful and literally stop doubting it. Like, stop doubting that you're powerful. Dang. Okay. All right. Sorry. I'm going to get off my soapbox. Sorry, Spirit. I'm closing up to this message. I love you. I love you. I love you, Leo. And I'll see you next time. Bye.